All right, when you see sine -1 or arc sine, they're both the same. They both mean the same thing, okay? So they're interchangeable. Some of your problems are going to say arc on it, and some will have the -1. They mean the same. But whenever you see anything to the -1 or arc, one of the trig functions, arc sine, cosine, you're going to think about when you see -1 or arc, you say who has. And when you see a plane sine, cosine, and tangent, you're going to say to yourself, what is? Next thing you need to know, and all this will make sense in a little bit, but next thing you need to know is you're going to look here first, here second, here third, and never here. So write that down. Let's answer this question. Since I see a sine -1 right here, I'm asking myself who has. So on your unit circle in the first quadrant, who has a sine of 1/2? So I know who has a sine of 1/2. I look in the first quadrant first and I find 30 degrees. So I'm going to cross out this and put 30 degrees, right? Because that is who has a sine of 1/2. Now, what is 2 times 30 degrees?
2 times 30 is 60.
So now we have a sine of 60. There is no -1 on that first sine, right? So what is the sine of 60? Look at your unit circle.
It is the
Root 3 over 2.
3 over 2.
So this is your final answer. So since the sine -1 is 7/9, it's positive. It's going to be in the first quadrant because everything's positive in the first quadrant. So I'll find it there first. I'm going to put my theta coming out of the center like that. I'm going to draw my triangle. And I'm going to say, well, sine, who has a sine of 7/9? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And then I'm going to go ahead and find the third side, which would be 7 squared plus x squared equals 9 squared. So the third side is 4√2. We know that if the two sides are 9 and 7, and 9 is the hypotenuse, and 7 is the opposite, and then we can find the third side, which is 4√2. So when we're finding cotangent, let's just first find the tangent, which is opposite over adjacent, and cotangent, that would be the tangent. Cotangent would be that guy turned upside down, so 4√2 over 7. So who has a tangent
150
of -√3 over 3? And you're going to go to the first quadrant. If you can't find it, you go to the fourth quadrant.
Fourth.
That's what I said. I said you go first to the first, then second to the fourth. So who in the fourth quadrant?
Oh, then 330.
So what is the sine of 330?
Sine of 330. -3 over 2.
That? So the sine of 330 is -1/2, and that is your final answer.
Wait.
Remember, I told you we're going to first look here, then we're going to look here, and then we're going to look here, and we're never going to look here. And we know that all students take calculus. So in the first and second quadrant, cosine is positive. And in this, not the first and second, the one that has first and second, the one first and fourth. But in the second quadrant, which is the third one we're going to look at, cosine is negative. So I'm going to draw it in that quadrant. Follow me? And cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse.
Okay.
So this is theta. We're going to find 6 squared plus x squared equals 7 squared. X squared equals 49 minus 36, which is 13. X equals the square root of 13. So now they want the tangent of that angle, right? Well, the tangent is opposite over adjacent. So the tangent, who has this? Theta has that. What is the tangent of that now? It's root 13 over 6. And now we have to decide if tangent is negative in that quadrant or not. So I'll help you with those. You just call me over and I'll help you. But so all students take calculus. So in the second quadrant, tangent would be negative. And you can look at your unit circle.